Every fandom has its favorite ships and favorite characters. After Catradora turned out to be canon, most fans, and all characters, were happy to forgive Catra everything she had done over the last 4 seasons. Not quite just.
Well, it wasn't just Catradora becoming canon, it was also kind of about the whole redemption thing Catra went through during the 5th season. About her recognizing her former toxicity, realizing her feelings, fears, and taking responsibility for them.
Adora, I'm sorry for everything.
She almost ended Etheria, Mr. Lover, just so that her best friend, and also enemy, and also future lover, Adora, wouldn't win their confrontation. Almost destroying the world is not something that can be fixed by a single good deed. Even by a badass good deed like getting Glimmer the heck out of Horde Prime's spaceship. Or, especially, by a kiss. Yet, most fans seem to think that these 2 things will suffice. Which is especially ironic, since when it comes to other characters, She-Ra fans are far less forgiving when wrong choices are made. Take Glimmer, for example.
I can't believe that anyone dislikes Glimmer. Why? She's so cute. Except for some moments from season 4. I actually relate to her.
Oh, then prepare yourself for a list. Apparently, Glimmer annoyed everyone since the very first episode of the show, when she suspected that Adora was a spy.
Quiet, Horde Spy. I asked the questions.
Aw, but she only wanted to prove herself to her mother.
Really? Is that really the only thing that makes you justify Glimmer's actions? What about the long war with evil Horde, in which the princesses of Etheria weren't winning at all? Do you really think she would have believed Adora straight away if it wasn't for her desire to prove herself? Just because Adora didn't sound or behave like an evil spy would? Well then, remember Double Trouble from season 4, and the way they pretended to be cute and pink Flutterina, who seemed to be entirely loyal to the rebellion.
Someone tooth-achingly cute and pink.
Spies don't run around shouting how evil and devious they are. Glimmer only showed some strategic thinking, that's all. But she still got blamed for that, as well as for her jealousy towards Bo during Princess Prom.
That's our best friend thing.
My feelings seem to be getting hurt.
Oh, come on. All of us get somewhat jealous when our friends hang out with someone else.
Not exactly, because for that you need to actually have some friends. But never mind, there are 2 more things for which Glimmer gets blamed regularly, for trusting Shadow Weaver in season 4.
Well, that kind of makes sense since Shadow Weaver abused and manipulated Adora, and kidnapped Adora, and also kidnapped Glimmer, and also tortured Glimmer, and kind of manipulated Micah, Glimmer's father, when he was a child, even though there was no way Glimmer would know that. And Shadow Weaver also switched sides for at least twice. So even I thought that trusting Shadow Weaver wasn't the smartest thing Glimmer did. And I'm officially a Glimmer fan!
Well, as a Glimmer fan, you must have realized that even though trusting Shadow Weaver wasn't the best decision, Glimmer had no one else to turn to at the time. She thought that her mother died. Due to Catra, by the way. The necessity to rule fell on her shoulders exclusively. And as if that wasn't enough, not many people took Glimmer's potential and powers seriously. Sure, Bo and Adora always supported Glimmer as friends. Sure, Glimmer's mother, Queen Angela, simply wanted to protect her child when she tried to prevent Glimmer from doing anything dangerous. But Shadow Weaver was the first one who recognized her power and actually became her dark mentor, even though she used that to play mind games with Glimmer, and even though we all know just how manipulative she is. And even though she fed off Glimmer's powers, she gave Glimmer what she needed the most when she needed it most: recognition and support.
That's true, but is the 4th thing everyone hates Glimmer for what I think it is? Is it her telling Adora?
Exactly. The 4th reason why people hate Glimmer is this.
Maybe your best isn't good enough. If it was, my mother would still be here.
Whoa, that was a very harsh and unjust thing to say to a friend.
Catra has attempted to kill Adora on multiple occasions, and sometimes she came pretty close.
Well, they were enemies for the most part of the series, so it kind of makes sense.
It's very obvious that Adora would never hurt Catra unless Catra made her do it to prevent someone else's suffering or death. Now, you might say that it happened because Catra thought that Adora left her, and also felt betrayed. And Adora had no reason to feel hurt by Catra. But I disagree. Catra gave Adora plenty of reasons to feel betrayed, right after Adora invited her to come along and join the good guys, and multiple times later when Catra shoved Adora's hand away and her offers of a truce.
Well, Catra also saved Adora and helped her several times. She was just extremely confused about her feelings towards Adora, and, well, there are reasons why she acted the way she did.
Ah, here we go again with all the sob stories of how Catra's toxic behavior can be justified, while Glimmer's can't. There is always a whole list of excuses for why she became like she did.
Well, all of them are legit. Let me recite them, or else it won't be fair.
Fine. The floor is yours, Mr. Fully Lover.
First, the circumstances of her upbringing. Fright Zone definitely doesn't sound like a place where you can have a healthy childhood in any way.
It's weird that Adora turned out the other way then.
Well, not everyone can be like Adora. Besides, there is another thing that made Catra turn out different. The toxic mother figure. I know, Shadow Weaver was a mother figure to both Catra and Adora. But even though she manipulated both of them, she always showed Adora more appreciation and approval. And, on the contrary, Shadow Weaver did and said absolutely everything to leave Catra scarred for life.
Which is ironic, since she was pretty scarred herself.
That was a horrible joke, but let me pretend I haven't heard it, Mr. Scoffer. Thanks to Shadow Weaver, Catra got her desperate need for approval. Considering the fact that only Adora got praised by Shadow Weaver and that only Adora got attention and victories and promotions until Adora's departure and Shadow Weaver's downfall. And Catra always remained number 2, her need for approval was never fulfilled. That and not understanding what her actual feelings for Adora were, since Catra never was the let's try and think what my emotions mean type, finally drove her to the edge of insanity.
Yes, I know. You forgot the Adora leaving Catra gave her trust issues argument. Even though Adora never left her, she left the Horde and gave Catra several opportunities to switch sides. A full pack of excuses for inexcusable actions, like waging a war, trying to destroy the world, and betraying everyone around her, including her leader, like Hordak, and an ally that painfully wished to be friends. Yes, I mean Scorpia. Another thing that bugs me most about Catra's redemption is that she had multiple chances to redeem herself, but threw them away right until Hordak Prime's appearance.
Well, she didn't exactly have lots of time to reflect on her life before. She was mostly engaged in dangerous and destructive activities. And when she got onto Hordak Prime's ship, all she did was hang around and stare into the cosmic void. Now, that's a perfect opportunity to rethink your decisions and behavior.
But somehow Catra seems less annoying to the fans in her persistent attempts to destroy Adora than Glimmer making a few non-murderous mistakes. Well, relatively non-murderous when it comes to trusting Shadow Weaver. The question is, why?
Why?
If we exclude the fact that seeing Catra and Adora peaceful and in love caused euphoria for many Catradora fans, there is one simple cause that is extremely unjust in its nature, yet it is not uncommon in many fandoms.
What is it, Mr. Scoffer, sir?
People tend to forgive villains easier than heroes. And it's always easier to forgive a villain too, because our bar for villains is usually so low that everything above it seems like a miracle. That's why Catra's single good deed allows her to get into the good guys' team within a blink of an eye. In the eyes of the fans, Catra's multiple and carefully planned attempts to defeat She-Ra and destroy Adora and everything dear to her pale in comparison, with a few unjust words Glimmer spits out while under extreme pressure and stress for a while. We hold heroes to ridiculously high standards. We rarely truly put ourselves in their shoes because they are supposed to be the symbols of everything perfect. Villains are another story completely. Give them a childhood sob story, a hero as a love interest, and even them going way over the moral horizon doesn't stop anyone from redeeming them.
Now that I've given it some thought, I think that no one is actually perfect in She-Ra. Even Adora. All the characters are complex.
But for villains, being complex often means being viewed as someone not so bad, which we can distinctly see in Catra's case. As for heroes, well, it doesn't turn out too well. judging by what fans think of Glimmer.
And what do you think? Does Glimmer deserve more credit than she gets?
Let us know in the comments!